Hey everyone, this is Tony Reeves and this is Reeves Point of View. I want to talk to you about contracts and understanding that if you didn't draft the contract is probably not. Now, let me just be clear. Everybody, we sign contracts all the time. Whether you believe it or not, you do. When you get a ticket to go watch the basketball game, that's actually a contract. When you think about it, you're basically paying money. It's what we call it's a bilateral contract, but really it's more of a unilateral contract. And a nice way of saying, I'm going to pay you money, you're going to give me admissions. But that ticket typically has language about what you can and you can't do in there. Same thing. You decide to go on a cruise. I'm gonna give you money. You're gonna let me get on this cruise and let me do what I do. And there's all kind of contracts you sign with regards to that. But I've told people in the past, I said, keep in mind, when those contracts are written, depending on what you're doing and depending on the scope of the circumstance, that contract is ultimately designed to put you on notice in terms of certain things, whether it be what your rights are, whether it be where you can sue in terms of the venue and so forth. But invariably, that contract is not designed to hook you up. If it's a particular type of contract and it says if you're going to sue us, you can only sue us here. Well, guess what? They want you to sue them there because they believe the venue is more favorable to them there. Or if they say you can't sue us, you can only go to arbitration. Well, they want you to go to arbitration because they believe that's more advantageous for them. How many of us have, especially in this technological age, have gone through and it says here, oh, this is an update, please review and then hit accept. Most of us probably hit accept and keep on trucking and don't even worry about it. And I often joke and say, listen, if something funky happens, you learn very quickly how much that contract was not designed to protect you. Because most of us are conditioned to want to use something or do something for our benefit. We don't think about the ramifications of any contracts that we sign until something wonky happens. And then all of a sudden we're in this wild situation where we want to go after the individual that we entered the contract with. And then we can't figure out why is it so hard? Because guess what? That contract was not designed with you in mind. The people who constructed it are doing so in a light most favorable to them. Now, part of their responsibility is, of course, is to try to make it as clear as possible because you'll see clauses in there we call severability clauses, which people are like, what does that mean? You might see a provision that basically says, if any part of this contract is deemed to be unconscionable, unenforceable, the rest of the contract remains in effect. So, because what you'll see sometimes is some contracts, if you don't have that nice provision in there, if you can show that one part of the contract is jacked up in a particular way, it throws the whole thing out. And then you're like, party people. But you'll see some contracts that have severability clauses in them, which basically says this contract will only the parts that die. The rest of this thing is riding out. You on the hook for it. And so I say this to remind everyone that when you're signing contracts, just remember, unless you drafted it, and ideally the thought is that if you did it for yourself, you do it to benefit you. Just keep in mind that if you draft a contract, is one thing. If you're signing a contract drafted by somebody else, it probably was not designed for your benefit in mind. Hey everyone, this is Tony Reeves. If you like my content or have any suggestions, please let me know. And by all means, make sure you share. The only way I can get my word out is you help me get the word out as well.